Yes, good afternoon, everybody from Helsinki, Finland. This might not be the afternoon everywhere, but for us it is. And welcome. We are really thrilled to have you with us today for a chat. And the chat of the day shall be with my guests here. So first of all, my name is Tommi Heikkonen. I am from Fiare, and Fiare has been serving media companies for over 20 years, and we've been the EU partner with Quintype for some time now. And today we have with me my guests, Jyrki Utriainen, the managing editor from Sanomalehti Karjalainen, newspaper Karjalainen. Hello, Jyrki.
Hello.
And we have Arttu Romo, the technology development manager. I did it right for Sanomalehti Karjalainen. Hello, Arttu.
Hello.
Yes. And the talk of the day is about change in the newsroom of news media company. And we aim to focus now mostly on what it takes to drive the change for digital publishing from what it used to be before. And for that, we could start by the first picture that Karjalainen has provided us with. So, Jyrki, before we go any background information, what is this picture about and what do we see there?
Yeah, that's a good question, Tommi. It seems like it's nothing to do with our webinar, but if you watch a little bit longer, you might see why I have chosen these photos. Actually, it's the first one at the left is from my home, Liperi landscape. And do you see any houses?
No, I don't see any houses.
Maybe one more.
Yeah.
So we are living in countryside and North Karelia, where we published our newspaper Karjalainen. The region, there is about 160,000 people living there.
Yes.
So there is many towns in Europe which are bigger than our region. And so if you think about newspaper business over there, it's quite difficult to if you think about the post and distribution, how to do it, it's very difficult and it makes us very big costs.
Yes.
You know? So there is little tiny difficulties in print business in this kind of area. And if we think about another angle, almost every house has a good network.
Yes.
So there is a lot of opportunities in future.
Yes. So I can see distribution comes with the cost.
Yeah.
And whereas the digital distribution is way more effective. Yeah. All right. That gets us started.
Yeah.
But then maybe we go. There might be somebody online who is not totally familiar with Karjalainen. So yeah. Could you talk us through who is Karjalainen?
Yeah, of course.
Can we take the next slide?
Yeah, next slide. At first, I have to say that we have now made a lot of things since 2017, 2018 about changing our business to digital channels.
Yeah, and could you change the next slide actually as well?
And our editor-in-chief said 1.5 year ago. So it's not opportunity; it's only change, only chance to us to survive. So newspaper Karjalainen, as I told you, it's a regional newspaper. Our office is at Joensuu, North Karelia capital, and our circulation is now about 26,500, and digital only subscribers more than 5,000. To us, it's quite a lot of digital only subscribers nowadays, and that's good. And everybody who has print subscriptions, they also can use website, application, and so on. So they have access everywhere. And our print is published 7 days a week. This is tradition in Finland. For example, I think in Norway and Denmark, the tradition is 6 days per week, but in Finland, still 7 days. Let's see what's happening to print, for example, next 3 years. I don't know. We are second oldest newspaper, or was it third? I'm not sure. I think it's third oldest newspaper, 147-year-old, and first published in 1874. And we are part of media division of Punamusta media company. We also have 6 local newspapers and 1 free newspaper and 2 radio channels.
So the starting point is that very heavy legacy print history and the print newspaper that Karjalainen has been.
Yeah.
All right, that gives a very good starting point to look at the future and the change.
Yeah, and I think we are quite typical company in Finland.
Yes. So in the high level, so the digital strategy. So what has been the cornerstones of the digital strategy of Karjalainen?
Yeah, we still have 3 points. We have had these 3 points 2.5 years. And the first one is that we try to increase the number of these digital only subscriptions. And this is, we try to think this first point every day, every morning, whatever we do, we try to think that, hey, if we do this kind of story, if we do this and this, how are we, is it worth to this first point?
Yes.
Sorry, my rally English. But anyways, this is the most important thing, because if we are not going to success in this digitalization,
yes,
that's not a good thing. And as I told you before, every print subscription has access to our app and website. So we try to activate the current print subscribers that, hey, you go to your summer cottage, take your iPad and read Karjalainen there.
Yes.
And we try to think that how could we activate current subscribers more and more to use digital channels.
So there must be challenges with that one at the same.
Yeah, that's true, and we have to also accept that there is print subscribers who will never use our app. We just have to accept that there is some part of our print subscribers that they won't use our app, even we do anything. But yes, there is also a lot of potential.
Yes.
And the third one is that we try to increase the value and price of the digital subscription. And maybe we are talking later how we have done this, for example, by our archive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be interesting. All right, so that's the strategy. So let's look at the how to do it. So in your own free words, if you would describe, I'll have lots of detailing questions, but how would you describe it, sort of like freely? How do you transform a print-focused old business into digital business?
Well, I would say that you have to change almost everything because the business model of print and business model in web, they are totally different. And if you think about print subscription, the typical situation, at least past, was that subscriber paid once a year the subscriptions, maybe January, to the whole year, and then he or she will get print to the own door or post box every morning, and that's it. And you didn't have to you just sent the bill and that's all.
Yes.
and usually the subscriber was happy.
Yes.
He or she got local news. But at the web, you have same time very different contents, and at your mobile phone you have a lot of different apps.
Yes.
And if you don't have something, some content, some headline that he or she would like to pay,
yeah,
to see.
So you need to win
to write.
You need to win the reader every day.
Yes, every day, and every story, every news you make, you have to win them.
Yes.
And you should remember this every morning when you go to the office.
Yeah. So, by the way, how does it feel? Is there sort of like increased sort of pressure, or is it increased activity, or how would you? Is the pace of the work somehow, has it changed?
Yes, it has, and of course, change happens little by little, not just like one day.
Yes.
But it's happening, and of course there is challenges. But I think nowadays, for example, most of our editorial staff, they understand why we have done these things and why we are thinking more and more how we do our contents to the website.
Yes.
I think almost everybody understand this thing.
Yes. All right. So here we have some points, but maybe do we want to dig deeper into this, or are we have the contents, you have the e-papers, you have the digital archive?
Well, I would say that as I thought, we have changed almost everything, and after 2018 we have changed our app, our e-paper, our website. We have built, as I say, our infrastructure, marketplace, market automation, our archive, and so on. Everything has been changed.
Okay, so when would you say that a decision was made that Karjalainen will be digital first driven news company?
I would say it was year 2017, 2018. That was the point.
All right. And then to me, almost one of the most intriguing questions is that if you've been going into media conferences, it's more than 10 years at least when the only headline has been, you have to go digital or you die.
Yeah.
And for many, many years, you didn't see a lot of action. You heard a lot of talk. And now at least if we look at the regional news media here in Finland, and I know it applies to many other places as well. Now Karjalainen is actually among the first movers to really execute effectively. Now, first question is, why is the change happening now if that has been the talk of the town for a long, long time?
Yeah. I would like to say that the media companies didn't die. So business went quite well many years. But I think that past 2 years, 3 years, the print subscriptions has go all the time down and down. Actually, it has gone down since 1991.
Okay.
But it was first very slow,
yes,
and now it goes faster and faster. And I think that we went, we came some kind of point that now we have to do.
Yes.
Before it's too late. I think
okay.
that's the main question.
So now you still get to stay on a driver's seat.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you notice that the digital is going more rapidly down,
yes.
Whereas the digital is, you are seeing
yes.
increase there, and now it feels natural. Is it fair to put it like this?
Yeah.
That's interesting. All right. Let me just turn this a little bit to Arttu. So the editorial team is your customer. So what was the assignment from them to you in terms of the systems and what to do on the IT side of things?
Yeah, I think the basic requirement was that we need to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
We have been doing stuff in the web pretty much in same way for the last 10 years.
Okay.
And there has been, of course, some additions, new kind of paywalls, new kind of integrated systems, and that kind of stuff. But the basic editorial process for our editors have pretty much stayed as same.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been always as print first, and the digital is the kind of a secondary product
mm-hmm.
of the content that was originally meant for print. And as we started checking the new kind of approach for this, the main reason and the main requirement was that we can't rely the same kind of system and same kind of way to do things. We need to give more freedom for our editors in the world of internet and do not have the same kind of leashes that have been around their wrists.
Okay, so you need to free the journalists.
in a way, give same kind of possibilities to do the content in the website also.
Okay. Well, if we talk about the editorial team then, so their work has been organized in a certain way for a long time.
140 something years.
Yeah, so you had your print deadlines, and everybody knew that by this time you need to have your articles created and ready to go for print and so forth. So now, when you went and introduced change, how was it perceived? I mean, human beings quite often don't like change by default.
Yeah, that's true, but little by little, as I told before, it's not a quick change. It takes time, and if I think past 3-4 years, we have been changing a lot, and last winter we also changed our organization of our editorial staff. We built brand new teams, and the question was that how would we organize our editorial staff if we have a clean table? And our strategy, the first point, growing the digital subscriptions. How we are organizing these people new way, and forget. Not forget, but don't think about print. Think about how we are stronger in web.
Yes,
and that's what we did together with our employees, and since last winter, you said that. Our people knew that there is a print deadline somewhere and so on. Now the journalists know that, okay, my story is going to be published at our web, for example, tomorrow morning 8 o'clock. And we don't know when it is going to print.
Yes.
And we have only one list, and that's the publishing list to web.
Yes. Could you, in terms of really practical level, so can you give us an example of how is the different work shifts now for the journalists? Do they come to work in different times, or is it sort of like less people at one time at the news desk, or?
The first change 4 years ago was that our first journalist came to news desk. Maybe it was 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. And we changed it, and our first journalist come to news desk nowadays 5:30 a.m.
Okay.
So because the morning time is prime time, we can see from our analytics that even e-paper, the readers are coming after 4 a.m. and between 5 and 6 a.m. there is a lot of people to reading our e-paper.
Okay.
And the same thing is our website. So if there is something to the news in the morning, I mean, it's something happened in nighttime, we need to tell it in the morning.
Yeah. So you have to have them in the same morning news, not the next day morning news.
But this last change, I think that actually it came so that our journalists and editorial staff is coming quite same time to the work, because we know what we are doing, and then we have different teams and jobs, so that if something breaking, there is a breaking news situation, so that we can react to what's happening. But anyways, the most of our editorial staff is working from Monday to Friday at the same time, because we know our contents and what are they doing.
Okay.
So well before. But anyways, also it's very important that we can react to different situations, and we have to be online where it's happening. That's also what our analytics and our data tell us.
Okay, interesting. So if we still think about the editorial team, so what kind of counter arguments have you heard? I mean, or has there been any sort of like resistance for changing the, you know, the digital first approach? So has there been something said that, you know, we shouldn't do this because of this and that reason, or?
Yes, actually, one thing is that we are going to forget our print subscribers.
Yes,
but that's not what's happening, because if we think more and more how we make this and this story interesting at the web,
yes,
it also will be interesting story at the print.
okay,
and that's it. But and also sometimes I hear also nowadays that okay, we just have 5,000 digital only subscribers. But that's quite a lot to Karjalainen, and also we get pretty much euros from subscriptions and ads nowadays. And we have to also remember that when we are thinking about the print, I mean newspaper, you have to print it and you have to organize this distribution, and it's about 50%, 55% of our costs.
It's significant.
Yeah. But I think, as I told before, that most of our people nowadays understand why we are doing this change, and I think that they just try to think that what should we today write about to our audience, our subscribers, at the web.
How was it, by the way, in the sales department? I mean, like in the advertisement sales into print magazine, print paper is done in a certain way, whereas digital is a little bit different. So how have they perceived this kind of change?
Well, I think that maybe Arttu can tell about also, but I think that web app advertising, that's not the question. They have done it more than 10 years. It's okay. But of course, for example, our app, we had new modules there. So the first question is that how many people see it, and so on. And of course, it takes time also at the sales department. And okay, about the subscriptions, at first when we just had 200, 300 subscriptions, they said, that's nothing, and you never get success there. And okay, now we have 5,000.
That actually, these numbers make me ask, so have you set targets for this digital change? Do you have sort of like figures that you are aiming for? Yeah,
actually this 5,000 level was our dream.
Okay, so you can take it easy now.
No. We just have to work harder and harder. And there will be some day when we will have, for example, 10,000 print subscriptions, and we have 10,000 digital subscriptions.
Yes.
That day is all the time closer and closer. And that's why we have to work harder that we will get those 10,000 subscriptions.
Exactly. So maybe if we go then a little bit back to the systems. So I know, Arttu, you sit on top of very many systems, and so have this digital journey affected all of them, some of them, not so many of them?
When talking about systems, there are, as you said, many systems, and there are also new systems and legacy systems. And all of those need to be think through. And there are sometimes when you can use the legacy systems, you can integrate those to new systems, and sometimes you have to think that could there also be a chance for a change. And that's one of the big development processes, also to think about could there be more efficient systems integrated together compared to the current ones or the old ones that we already have, and could there also be a possibility to maybe reduce costs, or maybe get some workforce freed to do something more productive than before. So that's an ongoing process, and whenever we're taking some new systems into use, we also have to think, how does this and that system work together with the other systems? And there are plenty of systems to think.
Yes, I can imagine. Now on this digital journey, so now first of all, so Karjalainen was the first publisher to go live with Bold CMS system now earlier this year. So in that digital journey, was that a big milestone? So did that change a lot, or was it just some minor happening?
Yeah, that was very big day to us, because we changed also there everything.
Yeah.
And we try to find that kind of system that also our journalists, photographers, our graphic designers could use the web system, not so that they are writing to the print, they are writing to the web, and they do the story straight to the web with tools which are web tools.
Guiding them.
Yes.
To that, so.
And we try to find that kind of system, and that's I think the biggest thing why we choose the Bold. I think that was our kind of system.
Yeah. So you were sort of like, actually for some years you were sort of like building up this digital thing, and then sort of like unleashed it at the point when the journalists were given new tools. Yes, that's an interesting.
And we are now in situation that our news desk has used Bold since June.
Yes.
Yeah, and this fall, actually nowadays, maybe this week or next week, our sport journalists are going to learn how to use Bold editor.
Yes.
And so on. And next winter time, the whole editorial staff will get that kind of teaching.
Okay. Yeah. So they will abandon the old print systems, sort of like for good. Hope at least that's what we're counting on.
Yeah.
All right. If we go back to just the whole strategy and the whole big picture related to this digital journey. So who all did you need to convince on the road? I'm referring now things like the management of the company, the board, maybe even owners, and the different stakeholders that you had in place. So was there something specific in there that was there somebody who was not really happy about the change coming, or?
Well, I think that most of them also understood that big picture, that what's happening to the print, but also that was they were realizing this little by little, and nowadays there is no question about that. For example, our archive project, which is one of the biggest invests what we have done past years to our digital channels. I remember that we suddenly had an opportunity to do it. We had discussed about this project about 2 years, and we knew some companies who has done good work there, and suddenly there was an opportunity to do it, but we had to do very fast decisions. And I remember it was Friday, and we had a Teams meeting with this company, and we get the price, and after that I told to my boss, editor-in-chief at Karjalainen Oy, that okay, now it's possible, this is the price, we have to do it immediately. And Monday morning they just had a quick conversation with our company chief and so on, and they said that okay, let's do it.
Okay.
So I think they understand that we have to do these kind of things, and we have to test and so on, because this old way to publish only print is not future.
Yes. All right. And still about this Karjalainen journey. So now I think you have now gone far already. There's more to do in the future, but you're already quite far. So now looking back, knowing what you know today, if you knew all of this in the beginning of the journey, what would you do differently, or would you do something differently?
Yeah, I think we should have done everything much more quicker.
Okay, so it's
yeah, half time. I think that's one thing, but maybe some projects we should have planned a little bit. How would I say it? I mean, we choose, for example, that we are buying our analytic project from outside our company, and I think that was not a mistake, but now when I'm thinking it, we should have hired somebody to do it to our company.
So typically you would not outsource things that are in the core of your business.
Yeah.
So analytics you consider is
part
of the core of
yes, that's true.
Yeah, so that's an interesting. That's probably a good learning for many people and the audience as well.
Yeah.
How about then if we put Karjalainen a little bit for a side and think about the industry in general? We meet a lot of publishing houses, publishing companies. We at Fiare, and when we have these conversations, we hear pretty much the same scenario in each conversation. Everybody thinks that the digital is the future, and you have to go there. But then there are some companies that take actions, and then there's some companies that just talk about it. Could you think of a reason? Where does the change come from?
I think the biggest thing is this so long history and this culture. To do print is at these people DNA.
Yes.
And it's so difficult to think that we should do big changes.
Yes.
I think that's the main point. And I would say that I have heard also this talking too long. We really have to do now the change.
Yes.
This is the time. I think this is the last time. We have to do now.
Yes. And I now know in at least in Finland on the regional news media, I know Karjalainen is being looked up to because of being first mover and having a quite sort of firm strategy on that. I know about that one at least.
That's nice to hear. But as I told, we really have still pretty much to do.
Oh, yes. All right. So do we have any questions from the audience yet? We would be happy to answer. So the first one is how would you attract people to go digital subscription? What are the best strategies? So how do you sell the digital subscription for your? That's probably quite a wide question, but is there something you could pick on?
Something from the past. It was maybe 4.5 years ago when I came to Karjalainen and we were talking about these digital subscriptions and how to sell it. Our marketing people say that we print ads and we put them post to the people, and there was that buy Karjalainen digital subscriptions and price.
Okay.
And they said no one take it.
Okay.
Okay, I said that I understand that this is not the way how to sell it, and but that was the beginning, and of course we have to have the marketplace at the web, our own website, and you that's the place after content where you can buy the subscriptions, and some special offers every now and then. And
so campaigns, do they work? So if you have a promotion or campaign,
but you have to be very careful there, because I have said all the time that we shouldn't move the worst things from print marketing to digital marketing.
Yes.
And if you once sell low price, it's very difficult to sell the same people the same thing double price.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes, very likely. As a salesperson, I know you give discount once, you give discount twice.
Yeah, and you have to be very careful there. But anyways, the digital subscriptions also, of course, you have to sell it in web and some special offers and also marketing things to social media and so on.
Yes.
That's how we do it.
Yes, at least that one takeaway I will remember: don't sell digital with print ads. So.
Yeah. That's not working. Yeah.
And we should also think about the future. It's not just the kind of subscriptions we have now. We need to develop some new kind of subscription models and products that we can sell online and as a digital market.
That is an interesting topic, by the way. So do you have an example in your mind what that could be?
Yeah, that's true. We have to test new models, and I hope we will test, for example, next year Karjalainen Sports. So if somebody really would like to subscribe that kind of product, why wouldn't we sell?
So you would allow them to subscribe for sport news only?
Yeah, only sport. So that's one example. And I told before that the business model and print business model in web, they are totally different. And this kind of product that we sell everything to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's working with someone, but then we have noticed that it's not working to everybody.
Yes.
So we need to test different kind of new subscription models and try to find what's working.
Have you been able to identify user groups based on the data that you are gathering?
Not yet, but I hope that next winter we will.
Yes, because that should be interesting if you can provide. All right. Then there was a question about coupling digital with print subscriptions. Is how you have done that? What's your thinking? Is it sort of like something that happens only for some time, or is it the future?
I'm not sure if I understand it correctly. My opinion to sell digi and print.
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course, we are still selling also print subscriptions, and every print subscription has access to our app and website. But more and more the focus also here is to sell digital subscriptions.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Was there something else on the audience? Is European market ready to go digital only?
Yeah, that's
a good question.
Yeah, and difficult. I have visited in Norway, and I think Norway is very, very far in this digital
journey.
Yes, and I also know that my colleagues from everywhere of the world are visiting in Norway. If it's possible in Norway, why isn't it in Finland? Why isn't it in Europe?
Yes.
We are pretty much similar countries.
Yes, and from Fiare's experience, I can say, because we have these conversations also in Germany and in UK. So we are seeing the same phenomenon exactly. So the first movers are out there already. They are actually implementing, and the critical mass is they are on a transition right now, and which wasn't the case a few years back. A few years back, it was more about talk and not so much action. That's how we've experienced it, and that's why we have some interesting conversations also in different parts of Europe. Yes, we start the questions from the audience. So maybe, okay, so authors, question is how hard or easy was bringing authors to bold system? Now authors, I'm now assuming that it means the journalists. So to have them use the bold system or the editor is there.
Well, for example, our news desk, I think there was.
It was surprisingly easy. We have been bringing new systems to our editors for some years now, and every now and then there's been lots of complaints about things not working like they would like and that kind of thing. But with bold, I think maybe the biggest reason it was so well perceived was that we pretty much talked with our journalists from the start of the project when we were going through different kind of candidates of the systems. There were lots of different systems that we went through, and I went some of the best of those through with the journalists, and we checked them out, and I asked how they feel about this and that, and would that work? How do you think that would sit in our strategy, and so on. And when we came up with bold, they were very receiving.
Okay.
Because the editor part of the bold is such an excellent tool to create content compared to the lots of the other systems. So they were pretty much quickly familiar with the bold system, and they were pretty much instantly creating content with the editor, and that was quite an easy one to take into use.
Yes.
And we will see next months, how the whole our editorial stuff takes it.
Yeah. So I think from Fiare standpoint, we've been working with a few projects in the history with media companies, and I think you can divide them into two categories. There are IT-driven projects where IT introduces new tools and systems for the editorial team, and then there are editorial-led projects, and this clearly was run by editorial team, and of course then you don't need to do this internal selling for the people who actually ask for the change.
Yeah, and also when we begin to think about the new web sites and the tools, we had, I think, more than 10 persons all over from our newspaper, different positions, and the first thing was that everybody tried to find from all over the world good-looking websites at the mobile.
Yes,
and that was where we start. And there was a lot of people who were all the time at the project at the very beginning, and I think that's also very important.
So they were mentally adopting the idea already from the beginning, so you didn't need to go and sell it later.
Yeah,
and it was pretty easy to sell the system when I had the list of the features that were requested.
Yes,
that the new system should have, and I could show them the bold, and they would see the features in the use already. Yes. So here is the feature that you have been asking for, and here's also this another feature that you have been complaining that it doesn't work in the current system, but here it is in the new system and it's working. And I think that was also one of the selling points.
Okay. All right. I think we little by little start to run out of time. Let's take one last question from the audience that says that given that the transition to digital is happening soon, how do you think this affects print ads revenue of publishing? And do you think print ads can ever be replaced? Can print ads be replaced? That's a good question.
Yes, I'm not sure if I'm the right person to talk about this, but of course they are not replaced as we know the situation. And we have also seen past years that when subscriptions go down and down, of course ads and revenues are going little by little down.
Yes.
And I really don't know how it will be in future, but I would say that we are in the situation that we need to focus on contents. We need to have more and more those digital subscribers, and when we have success there, I would say that we will have also success at the ads and marketing.
Yeah, so if you are successful enough on digitally, then the print ad revenue becomes less relevant.
Yeah,
all in all.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, print ads will always be print ads.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
They're not going to be replaced by anything.
Yeah.
There will be new products.
That's well said. All right. So maybe we wrap up now. And yes. So all in all, so the Karjalainen journey has been an interesting journey, and as said, they've taken it quite far in a quite fast pace, and as said, there's one side of things is how systems are developed, but then there's this whole managing the people and the minds, and we've learned that Karjalainen has been very successful on that one. And it's going to be very interesting to see the digital revenues rising in the future as well. So for right now, so thank you so much, Arttu, for spending your time with us. Thank you so much, Jyrki, spending your time with us. And yes, for the audience, thanks for joining us. Please, unlike one of these YouTubers, please subscribe to our LinkedIn channel. Yes, so Fiare LinkedIn, Quintype LinkedIn. So I recommend people to follow them. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.